Great. So as we wait for people to take a seat, I have a question for the students in the room. I see that's almost half of the crowd over here. And the next session is going to be talking a little bit more about the 3 zeros. Just by a show of hands, how many of you are already part of a 3-0 club, or at least have heard of this idea? Can I hear from the room by show of hands? Any 3-0 club members in the room? Okay. Can you raise your hand if you have never heard about 3-0 clubs? Beautiful. Okay, so there's a few hands showing that we have not heard about 3-0 clubs. So hopefully by the end of this session, you'll get a bit of a better idea. 3 zeros being one of the key concepts that is setting the vision of the movement of social business. And this is going to be part of the focus of this next session. And I invite you to go to the 3-0 Club website following and explore, or talk to us if you're interested in joining this movement as a student. But again, the next plenary and the last one within the academia dialogue is going to focus a little bit more on this idea of how to take ideas into action and how 3 zeros can actually begin to shape up activities within your campus community and inviting students to drive some of that work. So hopefully this will be also kind of inspiring enough to keep you awake up until the afternoon. I would like to begin by inviting our moderator for the next session, Dr. Abdul Hanan Chowdhury, who is a professor and former dean of the School of Business and Economics at the North-South University in Bangladesh. Dr. Abdul, please join us on stage. And thank you for joining and moderating our next session. Along with Dr. Abdul, I would like to invite our panelists on stage. So please join us. Dr. Farhana Sidek, who is joining us from the National University in Malaysia. Please joining us on stage. Kimni Vajani, who is from the Unicenter AIT and also the Australian Innovator of the Year. Please join us on stage. Mr. Kirill Mapula from the Innovation Programs at Foundation University in the Philippines. Please join us on stage. Professor Lin Yingxing from the National Kaohsiung University of Science in Taiwan. And lastly, Mr. Biswati Ghosh from the Global Director of the Partnerships for the Rotary Action Group for Community Economic Development in India. Thank you for joining us. And Kimji, yes, and Professor Kimji, please join us on stage. Thank you. And over to you, Dr. Abdul. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I think it seems like that we are tired after lunch, okay? So let me wake you up, especially the young audience. Good afternoon, my name is Abdul Hanan Chaudhary. I'm currently the professor of North-South University. I was the former dean of North-South University School of Business. And my responsibility, I think most of you know that well, this is a session that I have to moderate with a STEAM group of panelists here. I'll be introducing all of them, after giving some briefs on the session, particularly for the young audience, my dear students. Most of you know that well. The session's called, the title is 3 Zeros from the Campus. I don't know how many of you know the 3 zeros, so I have to give you some sort of introduction and also the ground for all of you to understand and be convinced that, well, this is what is very important for all of us in the upcoming future, to focus on 3 very vital issues that we are going to discuss in this particular session. In the pursuit of the, equitable society or equitable future or sustainable future, the social business in particular we have been talking about last 2-3 days in the conference is going to be a catalyst actually for changing the future. And many of you know that well, social business has come up with a beautiful idea of three champion goals, what we call the zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero net emissions.